Well, a very good morning and a happy Sail Talk Saturday.
Good morning, y'all.
I guess, or good afternoon, or good evening,
depending on where you're at. It is a special edition Sail Talk Saturday because we are both wearing our Alaskan cruise attire.
It's Victoria. It's still Alaska, though. It's on the itinerary.
It's an itinerary.
Yeah,
it's on the Alaskan itinerary. So I am jumping onto the Norwegian Encore in the morning. Early. I have an early flight flying out the day of debark, or embark, excuse me, which we never recommend. But when you book a week out, you don't have a lot of options for your flight. And so excited to be jumping onto the Encore. I will share all sorts of updates with the channel in terms of what it's like to cruise Norwegian. It will be my first Norwegian sailing.
Excited to find out how that turns out.
And does that look like 11 days to the countdown? It says 1 day.
Oh, it's 1 day with an exclamation.
That's awesome. The other thing I should mention, or that I do want to mention, is that tomorrow's sailing will be number 50 overall. And so
if I could put fireworks on the screen right now, I would.
I started sailing in 2014. Minus that year-and-a-half pandemic thing.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. I've done fairly well in terms of my annual average, and I think this year and this next year will continue to elevate that average.
I think so.
I think yours will elevate as well.
I think that as well.
Awesome. Well, you are joining us for cruise news and sail talk and all things Mark and Rocky. So I think we should jump on in.
We should jump on into our first article for the day, or news story of the day. And that is Costa Atlantica was sold to Bahama Paradise Cruise Lines, aka Margaritaville at Sea. So some of you may be familiar with this cruise line. Margaritaville at Sea is... they kind of came to fruition after the pandemic was slowing back down again. Margaritaville at Sea took over Paradise Cruise Lines, which operated 2 cruise ships. They were both former cruise ships. One was for Costa Cruises as Costa, oh my gosh, Costa Classico. And then the Celebration from Carnival Cruise Lines was the one that they used from Carnival, and it still had that whale tail funnel. They just
painted it. They just painted
it orange.
Yeah, they painted it orange. Yep. Hey, it's not a Carnival ship anymore.
So in order to bring back some more funds to their operations during the pandemic, they sold the Carnival version that they had, the Carnival Celebration, or Paradise Cruise Line Celebration, rebranded everything and relaunched as Margaritaville at Sea with the Paradise. And that's the ship that currently sails for them.
The oldest current modern cruise ship sailing on the ocean. If you've ever watched anything about Margaritaville at Sea, mixed reviews.
She's an interesting one. Well, they just announced that they are taking ownership of another ship. Finally, they're getting a second ship back into their fleet. So Costa used to have a ship called the Atlantica. The Atlantica was then sold or transferred over to their sister brands that Carnival Cruise Lines partnered with the Asian operations with Chinese market. Excuse me, where they added this ship called the Atlantica, part of the Adora cruise line. Now they're transferring it over to Margaritaville at Sea, and it's going to be called the Islander. It is a Spirit class ship, so she's a larger ship than what they've actually operated ever.
Larger and newer
from 2000. And she will be, they're not sure yet what the itineraries are, because the West Palm Beach port is much smaller for the current ship that they have. So,
which is where they're exclusively based out of West Palm.
West Palm to
I want to sail out of West Palm. We've not jumped on Margaritaville at Sea. We did a Facebook survey and we said, hey, what is the next new line we should check out? Margaritaville at Sea actually was tied for first.
Was it really?
It was tied.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
Didn't even know. It was tied for first place. And so I think when this new ship transfers over, we are going to get on Margaritaville at Sea. Here's a fun fact for you cruise fans out there. You may already know this. Did you know Margaritaville at Sea offers a season pass cruise where you can cruise unlimited times for one low rate? That is how much they want to welcome in cruisers.
It's cool.
It's cool.
I think if we lived in Florida, it would be a lot more lucrative for us to sign up for that.
That's true. That's true.
Well, and a very good morning, Rob. Thank you so much for joining in this morning. We are glad to have you here.
Yes, good morning, Rob, and good morning to everyone who is streaming with us this morning. We love to have you. I'm going to jump in. Hey, did you know just in time for my birthday this week?
Yeah.
Additional itineraries were released from Carnival Cruise Lines.
That's
so
exciting.
Carnival shared, and Royal has done the same thing.
Yes.
Both of the major operators have shared they're running out of inventory. Sales are so strong that they've had to open sailings out into 2026. I don't know what I'm doing in January, let alone what I'm doing in 2026. Rocky and I have literally talked. We're like, what do you think? What do you think we're going to be doing in November of 2025? Would that work for? How do you plan that
so
far out? Anyway, Carnival has released a whole bunch of new itineraries for 25, 26.
Yep.
One of those is on a dear ship of ours, the Carnival Miracle. Oh, look at that! That's us from New Year's this past year on the Carnival Miracle. We love this. We love this ship. Speaking of Spirit Class, this is actually a cousin or sister Spirit Class ship. She will be sailing Europe next year. So, or in 25, I guess. Sorry. See, that's how far out it is.
25. Yeah.
So Carnival Miracle will be moving on out. She is the ship that has all those purple grapes everywhere. If you've ever had the joy of sailing on
Bacchus dining room.
If you've ever had the joy of sailing on the Carnival Miracle, beautiful ship. In addition to the Miracle itineraries, Carnival has released another 100 itineraries that will include Celebration Key. So that new private destination.
This place?
That place. Yes, that place. So Carnival's new private destination on Grand Bahama. That is really exciting.
That is super exciting.
Carnival does believe that they will be able to charge a premium for this spot. This past week, speaking of cruise news, Carnival just met with the Bohemian government, local officials, the media, a variety of folks to give a town hall update on the Grand Bahama or Celebration Keys progress and construction updates.
It's exciting. We still have a ways to go, though. July of 2025 is when you'll start to see sailing stopping over in Celebration Key.
So what are you doing in July of 2025?
Let's check it out together.
We could do a group cruise.
I was just going to say, maybe we should set up a group cruise to head to Celebration Key. That would be fun.
If you'd be interested in a group cruise, drop a comment down below.
Yeah, that would be fun. Awesome. Well, continuing on the theme of...
One last thing.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
One last thing.
Yeah.
Carnival Venezia. I forgot to mention this.
Okay.
She's doing 3 14-day sailings. And one of those spots is Barbados, which I've never been to Barbados. I would love to get onto...
Is that sailing out of Miami?
It is.
Okay.
It's sailing out of Miami. She's also doing Panama Canal.
Oh,
look at all that. Look at that.
That sounds amazing. All right. Well, I guess we'll go to our next story in just a moment. We've got some comments coming in that we got to pull up.
This one? Hello, Miracle.
Oh, yes.
Can we go back to Alaska?
I mean, you're going there tomorrow, but yeah, we could.
June of 24. Do we have anything planned yet?
June, actually, we were talking about doing Alaska in June with my family, or late May, early June.
Okay, end of May, early June.
End of May, early June. Okay. Yeah. Angela is excited, it looks like. Thank you so much for joining. Rob said that he's excited for the review of NCL Encore, and he said make sure to do... I don't think he's going to be doing any water slides on this sailing. In case you haven't found out what the weather report is like, and we'll get to the weather soon, but it's going to be snowing on his cruise. I'm
actually excied. I'm terrified.
I don't know how I would feel about that.
I'm terrified. This cactus right here is the extent of my weather usually. So I'm terrified about snow on a cruise ship, but what an opportunity to be able to sail in snow and see the northern lights and maybe do a drop slide.
Are you bringing a swimsuit even?
I am bringing a swimsuit for the hot tubs.
Oh, for the hot tubs, right.
I want to be able to be in the hot tubs as it's snowing. I think that'd
be cool.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be fun. That'd be fun. We already saw Celeste's message. Thank you so much, Celeste. Rob says Barbados is amazing. I haven't been. Have you?
No, that's why I want to go on the Carnival Venezia.
All right, well, let's do it.
Rob, I don't know if you'd be willing to jump on a Carnival ship, but the Venezia, she's beautiful. She's fun Italian style.
Yeah, all those things that are great. Oh, there we go. Dominic said that they would be interested in joining.
For the group cruise.
Group cruise.
I think a group cruise is underway. If you want to make any one of our sailings a group cruise, go to thiscruiselife.com/about and we list all of the cruises that we're currently sailing on. So if we just want to make it a group cruise.
Right. Oh my gosh, Cruising with Brandy. Thank you so much for joining in. You're at work, but we appreciate you joining. And thank you for your purchase. That is so exciting.
That's amazing.
Thank you,
Brandy.
We will get that boxed up and sent out right away for you, and hope you enjoy
with a little
that.
handwritten card because we love. Oh, I shouldn't spoil the surprise in the lights.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll send the lanyard up soon.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much, Brandy and Dominic. Just remember the Titanic. We don't want to remember that. No.
Hashtag Titanic of the Seas.
Titanic of the Seas. Yes, that was last night. We joined Cruising with Keith for a live broadcast last night and had a great time. And that was one of the topics that we had talked about.
Yeah. Random. Okay.
Very much. Let's get back to the news.
What's next in the news?
So as you had mentioned, 2025 and 2026, Royal Caribbean also followed suit and released a bunch of their itineraries or are getting ready to, rather. They're not quite there yet. Oh. They will be releasing 2025 and 2026 coming soon. The last week of October, which is a week away.
Yes, it is.
They will be releasing Alaska first.
Okay.
After they do Alaska, will come Europe the following week.
Okay.
After they get through I know they're doing this in a strange pattern. After Europe, they'll start releasing 7-day itineraries for the Caribbean. Then they will release more 7 days cruises for the itineraries for the Caribbean. And then eventually they'll start rolling out the New England sailings, and they'll roll out the longer itineraries that are in the Caribbean. And then last thing that they're going to release will be those transatlantic and trans-Pacific itineraries. They've got this whole plan.
Are they all 25, 26?
They're all 2025,
Because if I'm trying
2026.
to plan,
yeah,
I want to know what's all out first.
So you're going to have to wait until about February, March of 2024 before all of the day itineraries have been fully released.
Okay, so. And speaking of Royal Caribbean, we did look last night. I'm looking at maybe jumping onto a Royal Caribbean ship in January. In January.
Yes.
But the single supplement is a killer on those sailings. So if anyone wants to go for a little sailing in January of 24, I mean, you don't even have to wait till 25 or 26.
That's very true. That's very true.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. You're good. So the one funny thing about all of this, I think it's kind of funny, is the Icon of the Seas, the brand new ship that's getting ready to set sail. They've already released the 2025 and 26 itineraries for that ship, and that's because demand was so high. When Icon of the Seas was released, they actually released. They actually had the top sales day in Royal Caribbean's history on one single day of sailings. Yeah.
Yep. Well, so, I mean, didn't one of those rooms? Didn't the grand suite on that ship go for like
a ridiculous amount of money?
Yes.
Yeah. So interesting information. But if you're looking to book Royal Caribbean, be patient. It's coming soon, and start planning for the next 3 years of cruises.
Next 3 years of cruises.
Goodness.
Liberty of the Seas.
We got
3 night. Oh, that seems so. You just get
That's a teaser.
You just get on the ship and you put on your bathing suit, and suddenly you're debarking. Where is Liberty of the Seas at these days?
I want to say Port Canaveral.
Okay, that sounds like a lovely
Rob, tell me if I'm wrong. I know Carnival Liberty is out of Port Canaveral right now, so that might be where my confusion's coming in. I don't remember where that one is.
That's hilarious. So Royal Caribbean, speaking of Royal Caribbean, gosh, there was a lot of Royal Caribbean news this week. So if you're a Royal Caribbean fan, you are in luck.
Yes.
Royal Caribbean, there's a gift card update out there. So I know some of you out there love your cruise line gift cards. There are all sorts of ways to get discounts on cruise line gift cards.
Yeah.
If you are an AARP member, you get 10% off gift cards. I happen to know that Angela, my good friend Angela, she loves that program where she gets the discount.
That's awesome.
There it is on the screen.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you for pulling that up.
Absolutely.
10% off. So a $500 gift card, that's $450. That's essentially $50 of free onboard credit.
Sounds good.
$50 toward your cruise or what have you. We are big Kroger shoppers, and so we shop at Fry's. And that's St. Tuck Saturday. I don't know.
Oh, there we go.
There we are. We shop at Fry's and we get fuel discounts. And so there's a variety of ways to maximize the gift card. The problem is, and I learned that this week in this cruise news, before to use a Royal Caribbean gift card, you had to use it weeks before you're sailing. You had to apply it to your booking, and you couldn't use it on board. It was like a certificate you could apply to your cruise.
That's interesting, yeah.
Well, they've overhauled their policy, and they've made it super easy to use gift cards. Now you can use it pre-cruise. You can use it online. You can call it in. or you can use it on board to pay for your onboard account.
That sounds great.
We've been kind of spoiled because that's what we've always done. Carnival gift cards. We use Carnival gift cards like they're cash, and they kind of are. And so keep that in mind. The Royal Caribbean gift card, just like any gift card, is not tied to your specific name. So treat it like cash. That is one of the things that Royal Caribbean said this week. Treat this like cash, because if you drop it on board now, if you bring it on board and you drop it, anyone else can pick that gift card up and they could use it because it's not specifically tied to your account. So
that's how that works.
But an awesome update to make it easier. And again, there's a bunch of savings. We talk a lot about savings on this channel.
Yes, we do.
There's always savings you can make, that you can find on a cruise. And so the gift cards trick or the gift card hack is one of my favorites.
I think that's a great one. Going back to the comment about the liberty of the seas, Rob said that is actually Fort Lauderdale in the wintertime. So that's a great port. We sailed out of there on the Apex.
Fort Lauderdale a lot.
Yeah, it's a great port. It's a great port. This is an exciting comment that we got from Brandy. I believe Brandy has already dropped off of the video, unfortunately, but she said that she did something else last night, speaking of group cruises, and she is now booked on the celebration with us for the Super Bowl.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
So thank you so much, Brandy. I know you said you're going to be coming back onto our event later on today when you're done with work. But we are so excited to get to meet and sail with you.
That's fantastic.
It's awesome. Nancy, good morning. Thank you so much for joining. We saw you last night on the broadcast with Cruisin' with Keith. So thanks for hopping over and joining us. And it looks like Angela had a comment to mention about the gift cards.
Look at that. Another tip. So some are 10%. It sounds like some are 8%.
Yeah.
That's fantastic to know. Here's the way we maximize our fuel points with Kroger.
Yeah.
Don't judge. Don't judge. We'll take both cars. We'll run both cars down to almost empty. And we will take both cars and we will maximize that dollar savings.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
It's a science.
It's a science.
It is. And Scrow's Nest, good morning.
Hey,
you are coming to us from Tucson.
Hey, Scrow's Nest. Scrow's Nest is Tucson?
Tucson.
Oh, that's right. I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you did. Oh, hey, we got one more here. Someone, a cruiseman, is wondering if we use Shipmate. We absolutely do. That's This Cruise Life on Shipmate.
That's This Cruise Life.
You've added the Encore on there, right? He doesn't even know.
No, I haven't. I leave tomorrow.
You do sail away tomorrow. You better add that. He's going to add it right now.
I'm going to add it real time adding
The good news is you can do that while I move on to the next article.
That sounds great.
Okay with you?
That sounds great. I think it's okay with that.
Okay, I think so too. So as we continue talking about more Royal Caribbean news, it is less than 100 days out from Icon of the Seas making her grand debut. Hard to believe this huge, massive ship is getting ready for the handover. She is currently in the Meyer Turku shipyards in Sweden, and as she completes her construction, she'll be handed over to the crew and Royal Caribbean. At that time, they will outfit her with the crew. They'll get their training done. They'll start to bring in all the linens and all of those other things, and then she'll make her way over to Miami.
Miami is nice.
Really exciting information, though. She's a huge ship. 7,000 passengers.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm curious as well to hear what your thoughts are about 7,000 passengers on one cruise ship at a time.
How many does the Excel class with Carnival support? So Mardi Gras, Carnival Celebration, Carnival.
I want to say they're around 6,000.
Is it really?
I believe so.
At max,
capacity. Yeah, it's usually like 55,
45,
yeah,
55,
52, 55 in that area.
Yeah, 7,000 seems like a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
And a lot of crew.
It's like 2,300 crew.
I do know some of our followers, they're booked on Icon of the Seas already, so we cannot wait to hear, as you mentioned, 100 days ago.
Yeah, less than 100.
Less than 100
like 98
days.
now.
Less than 100 days.
Yeah. So good luck.
John asked a question here, and I
pulled up on the screen.
I pulled up our survey from Facebook.
Okay.
Viking. So here are the next lines that we're going to try. So if you followed the channel for a while, you know that we like to try a new line at 1 or 2 new lines a year. I think we're going to increase that frequency.
Seems like
just based on having that ability to.
Yeah.
So Disney Cruise Line. So there were actually 4 tied for number 1 in the survey.
I think we need to put out a tiebreaker vote then.
No, we booked Norwegian.
Okay, that's true.
Princess Cruises, Norwegian Cruise Line, Margaritaville at Sea, and Disney Cruise Line. Those were the 4 that were tied for first place in terms of the next line we should try. Because we asked our followers, we're like, you tell us what should we go on next. We looked at solo supplements because Rocky unfortunately can't go next week. Princess and Norwegian, it really came down to those two, and there were multiple itineraries that we looked at on both lines. We eventually landed on the Norwegian Encore. Viking was not on that list though. So the question that John asked was, have we ever cruised Viking? We haven't yet. We're trying to get through this list, but we do definitely plan to add Viking. We really want to add a river cruise.
And that was my question, John. Do you recommend the river cruise or the ocean cruise from Viking, or both?
River cruise is just so expensive.
Both of them are expensive with Viking, unfortunately. So it's definitely something that we'll need to plan ahead for.
And buy gift cards.
And buy gift cards. Yep, absolutely. But yeah, curious to get your thoughts on that, John. If you've sailed with Viking, I'm not sure. I'm just making the assumption since you're recommending them. Rob came back in and said that he thinks Icon will be large enough to disperse the 7,000 people.
Rob, I agree, because I'll tell you,
I'm overwhelmed by it.
Mardi Gras Carnival Celebration, we'll find out on Carnival Jubilee here in December. Those ships, you don't feel like you're on the. I don't think you feel like you're on the ship with 5,000-6,000 people. I mean, there's so many different zones, or in Royal Caribbean's case, neighborhoods, that to be able to disperse the folks. I think it will be. Well, we'll see. We'll find out in less than 100 days.
That's true. That's true.
Rhapsody of the Seas. I think this is the last Royal Caribbean update.
No, we've got more coming later.
Okay. There's more Royal Caribbean.
It's fine. It's fine.
Rhapsody of the Seas this week. With the conflict in Israel, Rhapsody of the Seas, Royal Caribbean's Rhapsody of the Seas was used to help evacuate 130 U.S. citizens and other foreign nationals as the war with Israel and Hamas continues. And so just a sad, tough story to talk about, but really awesome that Royal Caribbean stepped in to help evacuate those folks to safety. They took them to
Limassol, Cyprus. Yes.
Okay. Rocky is the word pronouncer, as you all know. Limassol, Cyprus. They were processed by U.S. Customs. They were put up in lodging as they await flights home or flights to wherever they are going back. And so it's, like I said, it's a tough story, but really neat to see Royal Caribbean and the cruise industry stepping in to help out.
Couple more stories or a couple more comments that came through during that. So John has a med cruise on Viking books for January of 2025. So it looks like someone else is planning far ahead. He was just wondering if we've tried it yet, but yeah, please let us know how it goes. We would love to hear about your experience on there. Let us know. Perfect. All right. So moving on from Rhapsody of the Seas and that unfortunate news, but it's uplifting for what they're doing. Let's talk about weather. We've got some weather going on. It is weather time.
Y'all, you know this is Rocky's favorite topic. So the regulars out there, this is Rocky could talk about weather all day. But
I certainly
promise I'm going to limit him to 60 seconds.
Oh, gosh. Here we go. All right. So we got Hurricane Tammy coming up in the Eastern Antilles. So right now she is set to hit a lot of those really beautiful exotic islands. Unfortunately, she is still showing hurricane force winds. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that it turns out okay for those individuals living out there. The islands that are going to be impacted would be St. Kitts, Antigua, anything in those northern areas of those Eastern Antilles islands, which makes me really sad. It hurts my heart a little bit to know about that. So hopefully they'll be able to pull through. And the other storm that I'm watching right now is Hurricane Norma. Norma is currently in the Pacific Ocean. She is getting ready to make landfall in the Cabo San Lucas region. So also showing hurricane force winds, really keeping our fingers crossed for the folks that live in Cabo San Lucas. Fortunately, there's a lot of cruises that make stops there. So I know that helps boost the economy, but we'll see how that goes. Definitely.
When is the Cabo one hitting?
Probably today.
Oh, interesting, because Missy flies there tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, good luck. I don't know that she's going to be able to fly in. But yeah, so just a couple of storms that we're keeping an eye on. We'll have to see how the aftermath is from the storms. Hopefully it's not too bad. We'll see. Nancy said that she never thought about buying gift cards, but it sounds good.
Tips and tricks. Tips and tricks that you learn at this cruise life.
That's right.
Join. Come every week, all the time.
That's right.
And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit this like or subscribe or whatever else.
Turn on the notification bell so you get made aware of it. Did I do an okay job keeping it under 60 seconds?
You did really well. You did really well.
Thank you.
There was a cruise ship explosion this week. No, okay. That was what the headlines read.
Yes.
As you know, the media sometimes exaggerates when it comes to the cruise industry, but there was a fire on board American Queen Voyages Ocean Navigator. I literally had to look down to say that because it's so many words.
It is.
So American Queen Voyages, they've got, obviously, as you can see here, smaller ships.
Yep.
But the Ocean Navigator was in Maine this week when an engine room fire and a potential explosion that was not confirmed whether or not there was an actual explosion occurred. Left one crew member injured. Some speculated that it had to do with the generator. If there was truly an explosion. But again, American Queen Voyages did not specifically say what the incident was, but there was smoke, there was fire. We can confirm that. It took 15 minutes to get everything back under control, but even still, a single crew member was injured. Paramedics treated and transported that passenger to the hospital, and while the injuries were serious, I am happy to report that they are not life-threatening.
That's good.
So that is a very positive outcome of the story. Coast Guard, the Maine State Fire Marshal, the fire investigator, Customs and Border Patrol, all of those folks responded to the fire on board.
That's great.
They evacuated all the passengers. All passengers, actually many were out in port enjoying the day when this happened.
Right.
All passengers were accounted for. They put them up in lodging. All of those groups got on board to determine whether or not this ship could sail. The Ocean Navigator could sail. This was on Wednesday. On Thursday, unfortunately, the decision was made that the rest of the voyage would be canceled. So all of those folks that were in hotels, American Queen Voyages, American Queen Voyages.
He's struggling, y'all.
is working to find alternate forms of transportation home. We are super happy that that was contained. It was contained quickly. There were not additional injuries, and we're happy to say that the crew member that was impacted or injured is going to make a full recovery.
That's great.
There were, by the way, on Thursday when they made the cancellation, interestingly said there is no update on the crew member at this time. So if we get additional updates, we'll put that on Twitter.
Yeah. Great. Well, hopefully everything goes well and the crew member is able to have a good recovery.
I'm just worried about, what about the next sailings?
Yeah,
how long? How long do them?
Right.
Because I don't know if y'all remember this, but the Carnival Splendor suffered a fire one time, and that left her stranded,
a little paralyzed out in the ocean.
A little bit of time, yeah. So fingers crossed that they're able to get the Ocean Navigator back up and running very quickly.
Yep. All right. Well,
we don't have a lot of stories left, do we?
That's debatable. It depends on how much talking we have to do. If you are squeamish, I encourage you to maybe not look at the screen for this next one. It's really not that bad, honestly. There is a giant spider. Now, let's be clear about something. Australia is known for their large creatures down there. And there's a giant spider that has been donated to the Sydney Zoo through Carnival Cruise Lines. Here it is right there.
Oh my gosh, you are so dramatic. I know. You were like those headlines. If you're squeamish, turn away.
So it is a giant inflatable spider that is at the Sydney Zoo.
That's cute.
She is 2 feet tall, so not a very small spider, just kind of on par with all the other creatures and critters in Australia. But this is a partnership with Carnival Cruise Lines and the Sydney Zoo where they are putting this spider out there. They have created a bunch of fun activities for people that attend the Sydney Zoo during the next several weeks as part of the Halloween festivities and celebrations. They've got a trick-or-treat trail and some nighttime experiences. So just some really cool things in addition to onboard activities. If you remember sailing on a Carnival cruise ship during Halloween.
I was going to ask, has anyone sailed on Halloween, on or around Halloween? I'm just curious. Drop it in the comments below. But yeah, what were you saying about sailing on Carnival? That big pumpkin?
The big pumpkin guy that they put into the main atrium. Yeah, it's super fun. All the themed parties and costume parties around the ship. So anyway, yeah, pretty cool that they're celebrating. Yes.
I have to bring a Halloween costume for next week, don't I?
I don't know how Norwegian does the holidays. Maybe someone can let us know in the comments below.
I could cruise Norwegian. I could. Anywho,
you will be back before Halloween, technically. So.
Yes, but I mean, there's still the month leading up to Halloween. At least on Carnival, the ship is decked out. They do parties. They do parades.
Parades,
I was like,
costume parades. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
It was before COVID.
It was before COVID. All right. Thanks, Dominic.
Yeah, I mean they're fun. I mean, there's always
yes.
I wonder if Norwegian will do this.
Okay.
Carnival always has Halloween themed cocktails and drinks on board, which are always super fun. None of them are ever really good, but they're always super fun.
That's
and they're
true,
cute and
they're fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have to report back.
I will.
We'll look forward to it.
There's going to be so much encore content.
Are we going to get an encore?
I see. Yeah. Okay.
All right, move on. Let's do this.
Lame.
I know it was.
So MSC this week, one of the things that we talk a lot about on Twitter, and we get challenged quite often on Twitter, fun fact, around the environment and cruise ships and how they're not doing anything to protect the environment. I will tell you that is absolutely not true. And this week, MSC was just recognized for their environmental excellence. That's the picture from the article that I sent you.
Yes, it is. You're welcome.
So they received the highest score possible across 8 different environmental measures.
That's impressive.
Of receiving the Green Marine Europe certification. So this is a voluntary environmental certification. It's a partnership between multiple agencies, but they look at things like emissions and greenhouse gas and oil discharge and recycling and waste management, and noise pollution, and there's a whole bunch of different things that they look at.
Okay.
MSC scored the highest score possible in all 8 categories. And so they received that award that you saw there on the screen, which is really awesome. They've already reduced emissions by 34%. And they have a goal of reducing it by 40% by 2030. So they are continuing to make progress. In fact, here's a fun fact.
Okay.
Here's a fun fact. Did you know MSC sailed the first ever net zero cruise? Net zero emissions cruise.
That got me.
I know.
Yeah.
I agree. So kudos to MSC, but kudos to all of the industry, because they're investing billions with a B of dollars in, because the environment is in the cruise industry's best interest. It absolutely is in the cruise industry's best interest, because these are places that tourists and people are going that we love, and they want to protect those. And so kudos to MSC.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super exciting. It looks like you have a special request to record the Encore's gym. If you can find it and get into it.
Do we know where it is?
No.
Yeah,
it's on the ship. I know that.
I will do that. I do know that there is no, if I wanted to do a sauna or steam room or anything like that, there is no complimentary. I did research that.
Which is a bummer for an Alaskan sailing.
Which is a bummer for Alaska, because I'm not paying Norwegian's prices for the spa.
Yeah.
Considering,
I did.
Okay, y'all. I splurged. I splurged. I shouldn't have. I realized this, but I splurged, and I upgraded to the free At Sea Plus. So I'll have the Wi-Fi and I'll have the premium drinks. I can get Screwball whiskey now instead of regular whiskey.
It's my faves.
And I can get Bailey's.
Yeah, Bailey's.
So I upgraded. So definitely not going to upgrade to the spa as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost forgot about the go-karts.
Oh yeah, the go-karts.
Okay. So do I have to do I probably have to do the go-karts, don't I?
I'm thinking so. You do have some OBC that you can run through. So
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, maybe use that.
Do we have like a thing that I can put my iPhone on so I can just drive around? And
we don't. Okay. I mean, we could probably hop on Amazon and get it today. I don't know.
Okay.
And then Brandy, she's wishing you well wishes
for your Brandy. Yeah. I appreciate it.
All right, let's talk Costa. Costa Cruises is celebrating 75 years of sailing. Last year, we celebrated with Carnival, and we were so excited about 50 years. Can you imagine doing a 75-year anniversary sailing?
Wow, are they really that old?
They're really that old.
Or young.
Yes. They did a pretty cool dedication ceremony in Genoa, which they have a really big partnership with in Italy, for those of you that don't know. They got together and they did a giant cook-off, and they did some big meals. They're partnered up with an organization out there that donates meals to those that are less fortunate, which was really awesome. But I did want to share this one picture of the Costa funnel. Truth be told, this is not a Costa ship any longer, but it still bears that wonderful, beautiful sea on the funnel.
Oh, what ship is this, Rocky?
Well, this would be the Carnival Venezia, of course.
Which I highly recommend.
Yes,
I know our regulars know.
Oh yeah, they do.
I promise I will stop talking about the Carnival Venezia at some point.
Maybe when we start talking about the Firenze.
Yeah. Okay. When we start talking about the Firenze. Fun Italian style. Truly, those ships are. They're not They're not your typical Carnival ship, but they have the Carnival fun.
They do. Anyway, so yeah, some exciting stuff coming from Costa. They've got several ships that'll be docking there and joining in the festivities and partaking in the food and the 75 years. So
happy birthday, Costa.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. That's pretty cool. Awesome. Looks like Rob let us know that the Encore gym is a letdown. He said it's on the port side in the aft. It's a little dark and it's kind of basic.
Ah, interesting.
So yeah, you definitely need to get a recording of that. I would love to see it as well.
I definitely will. I'll try to do it when there aren't people working out because it's creepy. When I watch YouTube videos and people are working out and sweating.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Kind of gross.
Hey, there was another fee increase this week. Before you pull up the header. Oh, there you go. Well, the header's already up. Okay, the cat is out of the litter box. The Carnival raised another fee this week. This is an add-on feature program. It's called their Faster to the Fun program. We actually just did an entire video about that. I think it's going to come out this week. It might come out next week. Oh, this week.
This coming week.
Faster to the Fun is their essentially where you can buy their loyalty perks program. So you can buy early embarkation. You can bypass the security lines. You get early shuttle tenders. You get a bunch of different perks. You have early access to the room. You get a bunch of different perks. Well, they have raised the price of that program again, another $10 to $20 for 2024 sailings. And so the package ranges from $69.95. It starts at $69.95.
Goes up to $159.95.
No, higher than that. $69.95 if you're on a 2-day or 3-day sailing.
Yeah, woo, there you go.
That's a lot, y'all. For a 2-day sailing or 3-day sailing. And it goes all the way up to $189.95 for those 9+ night sailings. And so, like I said, we're gonna do a whole video where we actually walk through each of the benefits or perks of Faster to the Fun, and we actually assign arbitrary. They're arbitrary. There are values, what we think it's worth. Time is money, and we'll tell you whether or not we think who it is actually worth it for, and who should not buy Faster to the Fun. So that'll come out this week.
And the nice thing, there's one saving grace to this.
I think it's next week, but he says this week. Okay.
Well, yeah. The saving grace is it's the cost per stateroom and not per person.
Oh, that's
so true. That's one saving grace on the cost of it. But yeah,
so if you have 6 people in a stateroom, I mean, really, it's
yeah. So Eddie said that he is in. Hey, Eddie from Brooklyn. We met you last night on the live feed with Cruising with Keith. Thank you so much for joining in. And Scrow's Nest has a very good comment here. If you you need to earn this privilege, not buy it. So Platinum and Diamond definitely makes it a lot easier and nicer getting onto the ship. You don't have to worry about Faster to the Fun.
Yeah, I've purchased Faster to the Fun before. I have absolutely purchased it before.
When it was $20.
No, it was more expensive than that. But we'll talk about that in the video. Yeah, awesome.
Cool. All right, moving on to
now.
The next one.
Really are only a few left.
Yep, but we're back to Royal Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, of course. Yep,
it's a busy week.
It is. So Royal Caribbean has made an announcement that they have decided to change the name of their lounge, in which they invite their Diamond passengers, their Diamond Plus, and their Pinnacle passengers. They are now changing it from the Diamond Lounge to the Crown Lounge. The Crown Lounge is a little bit more nice feeling.
Pays homage to the brand because it builds in the anchor, is what they were saying. Yeah.
Right, and so they're rebranding it across the entire fleet. For those of you that are familiar with the Viking Crown Lounge, some ships have the Crown Lounge or the Diamond Lounge in there, so that it'll stay in that same spot. I'm really excited about the perks that come with being a Diamond Plus, and Pinnacle. Oh my gosh.
Y'all, he called me over last night. He's like, come look at this. Come look at this. Did you know that Diamonds get... And I was like, Rocky, where you been? Like I researched cruise loyalty programs. Yeah. It's embarrassing to admit how long I've researched cruise loyalty programs. Yes. Rob and others have talked about the what is that? The engraved the ship.
Oh yeah.
The not the plaque, but what's
it's something like that. Yeah, it's like yeah. Really cool.
So many cool perks.
There are.
I really, really want to make Diamond. That's why I was like, if anyone wants to go in January, let me know.
So we already have 7 points. We just got to continue to build off of that.
I just need 73 more points and I'll be Diamond.
Oh.
Not happy about the lounge name change. Oh, interesting. I think it will. I absolutely, Rob, in fact, once Rocky wraps this, I'm jumping into another update about the Crown Lounge.
That is a very good thought on that. We will definitely see what happens with it.
Are you wrapped? Did you finish everything? Okay.
Good.
Just 2 weeks after the name change, that's fine. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
I'm not
limits
changing.
access. And limits access.
Sorry.
So just 2 weeks after announcing the change, they announced another change, at least on one ship. And so we'll see what happens. But they are limiting the hours of the Diamond Lounge, Crystal Blocks. That's what they're called. Thank you, Rob. I was like, what am I trying to say? They are limiting the hours, or the limiting who can come into the Diamond Lounge from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Y'all, you saw Delta in the headlines the last couple of weeks because they've said, oh, we can't keep up with the demand for our lounges. Turns out Royal Caribbean's sounds like in the same boat.
Oh, that's funny. See what I did there? That's cute.
They are limiting the lounge access between 5 and 8 p.m. on Wonder of the Seas sailing. Quote, due to the high number of top-tier Crown and Anchor Society members on this cruise, we've made a slight adjustment to Crown Lounge access during our nightly beverage service. Slight adjustment. Interesting, because to Rob's point, what other slight adjustments are they going to make? I actually would predict that as more folks achieve their loyalty status, just like on Delta, just like on Carnival, just like on Royal, just like on all of the lines, as more folks achieve that, those lower level status, even though Diamond is an amazing level, I think we're going to start to see Diamond drop off. For those of you who have sailed Carnival before, or if you've had loyalty with Carnival long ago in the past, it used to be the GPD party. They used to have a GPD party on every sailing. Gold, platinum, and diamond. The golds dropped off. The gold because there were just far too many golds.
There's so many.
There's now far too many platinums, and so sorry, but there truly are. And so those parties, they're frustrating. People get frustrated because you can't get service, you can't get food, you can't get drinks, you can't get anything. And so eventually, I truly believe, could this be a sign, to Rob's point, could this be a sign of changes to come? I absolutely believe it will be. It has to be. Yeah. The cruise lines are going to have to change their loyalty programs as folks continue to reach levels or that status. And it makes me nervous. It does. Transparently, it makes me nervous. We wondered with Virgin Voyages Sailors Club if they were going to go. So Virgin talked about reimagining loyalty. They talked about earning tokens every year.
They're still working on that program.
It scares me to think it could go the lines of the airline loyalty programs where you lose status if you don't earn it every single year.
That's how MSC handles it. It's a 3 year,
2 years, 3 years, 2 years. Yeah.
So definitely keeping our eye on the loyalty status programs. Eddie said that he has no idea what a lounge is. He's going to be blue in Carnival in about a week. That's very exciting. We're excited for you. Never done RCCL, MSC, or Celebrity. Done 3 NCLs and barely silver over there. And then, haven't sailed Carnival in over 30 years.
Wow.
Oh, they didn't bring the status forward? That's surprising. Oh, what a bummer.
But how cool. Congrats on your blue card. If you might be like Rocky and be platinum soon.
It's true. It's easy to do.
It just suddenly happens. We're not quite sure how that happens. We keep booking cruises.
That's
NCL, right? NCL, it takes a while on NCL to earn status.
Yeah.
Well, Royal too. We calculated it last night. So here's a fun perk. If you book a solo cabin, if you book a solo on Royal, you get 2 points a day or 2 points a night for the Crown and Anchor Society. And so I've looked at, do I just book 5 solos to get myself to Diamond? I mean, I really want this status. And the moment I get there, they're going to be like, sorry, Mark and Rob, you need to exit the lounge. This is now just for Diamond Plus and Pinnacle.
Pinnacle, right. Wouldn't that be something? All right, well, let's continue our talk about Royal Caribbean. I'm telling you, it's a Royal Caribbean kind of day.
This is the last one. I do know that.
Well,
last Royal Caribbean.
I mean, we do have one that's tied to Royal Caribbean Group coming up.
Okay.
Royal Caribbean has decided to change some of their categories, their room categories. That's
right.
Yeah, kind of interesting. We saw this happen recently with Norwegian. I think this is a little bit different, however, the way that they're approaching it. So as I was reading through the article, there's several different room categories that they're currently tied to other room categories, but the rooms themselves are a little bit different and don't really fit the category that they were a part of. So Royal Caribbean is making it easier from a booking perspective. If you come to me and you say, hey, Rocky, I want to book this category of this class on a Royal Caribbean ship, and I pull it up, and I'm like, okay, here's what the room is looking like, and you get on the ship, and it suddenly looks completely different because they didn't recategorize it.
That makes a ton more sense. I didn't read this article, and I was kind of confused why they were doing it, but now that makes so much more sense.
So like on the Oasis class, there's this category of room, and it's much smaller. It's the same category. It's a single room, a single bedroom. It's got the king size bed. It's a junior suite. And the way that they have it set up, it's got a smaller balcony because of its position on the ship. Well, they've decided to pull this room out of that normal category and added its own category now, so you can book it directly.
Actually, that's really smart.
So it's a brilliant move on their part. I think they're doing a great job at evaluating all of their different categories and making them more streamlined. So it makes it easier from a booking process, so you know exactly what you're getting.
See, I can get behind that versus Norwegian saying we're
eliminating spas.
We're eliminating spa rooms. We're just going to make them regular rooms and take away spa access.
You know, I'm curious to see, like, can you find where those spa rooms were located and see if it's different, like, design element? Yeah,
because on Carnival, right? On Carnival, those, I'll just start knocking on rooms. Can I come in and look at your room? Does your decor look different?
Make friends.
Make friends. I plan to make friends.
That is this cruise life. That's what we do.
This cruise life.
Nancy said that she's only been on 5 cruises. Hey, it's not an only. Congratulations on being 5 cruises in. That's amazing.
It is definitely not an only. I remember when I was 5 cruises in, and I was like, I want to book another one. I really want to book another one.
It's addicting.
And then something happened.
Yeah, that bug.
2 NCL, 2 Carnival, and Royal Caribbean. Okay.
Okay.
See, we've not been on Norwegian. So even though you say only 5, you've been on lines we've not been on. See, that's the beauty of this cruise life. We get to experience different things through each other.
That's right.
So I'm excited to jump on Norwegian tomorrow.
I'm excited for you.
Hey, here's a fun fact. Carnival stock, y'all, I don't know if any of you are shareholders, and you get that shareholder benefit. So if you own 100 shares, you get $100 of onboard credit every single time you sail. We have almost $5,000 of onboard credit from Carnival Cruise Line.
Amazing.
It's $100 for 7 days, and if you do a Panama Canal or a 14-day transatlantic, it's 250 days. Or 250 days, $250, $250. So, I mean, there is a ton of value in this. And at today's prices, it's like $1,100. So you sail a couple of Panama Canals and a couple of cruises, and you've literally paid for the stock and you still have the shares.
Right.
Well, a Carnival insider this week, actually, or this past 2 weeks ago, just purchased $4.5 million worth of stock. So board member Randall Weisenberger,
very good.
Thank you, purchased $4.5 million at $12.99 a share. Here's what I will tell you. When an insider, when a board member, the person that knows the financials and what's going on with the company buys stock at $12.99, it usually is a really good indicator that the company knows what's going on and that they have a direction that they think the stock will going on. This purchase was the single largest transaction of an insider over the past 12 months. So $4.5 million of stock. Here's something that I thought was really cool. Carnival insiders own just shy of 10% of all shares in the company.
Wow.
That means they've got about $1.5 billion, $1 billion with a B and $1.5 invested in the stock based on the share price last week. I mean, with that said, with all of that said, the shares this past week have been ugly. The shares the past 30 days, this past month, they're down. They've shaved off almost a quarter of valuation. The company came out with the best sales and best booking in company history, and it's shaved off almost a quarter of their share price. No, I get it. There are wars going on. There are fuel prices. There are conflicts. There's all of those sorts of things. But the reality is the business of cruise is really strong.
Yes.
And Carnival's decline has impacted all of the cruise stocks. And so if you are thinking about cruise stocks, one, talk to your financial advisor. We're not financial advisors. We do not tell you to buy or sell or any of that kind of stuff. So that disclaimer is out there.
Yep.
But now is, if you're thinking about the onboard credits and you think it could be a good opportunity for you, there's another $100 every single time you sail. Rocky's actually going to call NCL today just to see if we can get my NCL shares applied. Because we booked it so late, I don't think we're going to be able to get that $100 of OBC, but it would be lovely because I'd love to get on those go-karts.
That's right. And by the way, we do have a video out on our channel that talks all about shareholder credits and how that works. So we definitely invite you to check that out. Eliane is joining us from Bonaire. How cool is that?
I love Bonaire.
It's a beautiful country, a beautiful island.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Scrow's Nest is recommending that Eddie reach out to Carnival. I agree. I think it's worth it to see if they can dig up your past sailing information and maybe upgrade you from blue status.
They did make some changes, and it looks like Eddie commented
did respond,
here. They made some changes back in 2015, 2017.
When they
I
changed
don't remember.
the title.
I don't remember, but they put a cutoff where you could actually go, how far back you could go, and whether or not you could apply them. So again, your mileage. I always say this: your mileage may vary. When people are like, "Well, I'm not going to submit my shareholder credit because I got a great deal on this room." Submit the shareholder credit. Worst case scenario is you go in knowing that they might tell you no, and they tell you no.
Right.
I would always recommend submit it. Worst case scenario is they say no, we can't do that, but at least you'll know.
Agreed.
Final story. Bring us home.
Final-ish story. We are going back to Royal Caribbean Group, but this time it's not a Royal Caribbean ship. We are now talking about TUI or TUI and their brand Mein Schiff.
Mein Schiff, yes.
Mein Schiff. So usually, or in traditional form, they've issued ships.
We added a story last night. We added the story late. Sorry.
That's okay. Mein Schiff is usually sailing ships called Mein Schiff 1, Mein Schiff 2, Mein Schiff 3, all the way up. Every ship that they've introduced.
I thought you were going to go through all of them.
I'm not going to go through all of them.
I literally thought, I was like, okay,
I won't do that.
They get it.
So they've decided on the announcement of their newest ship as part of the, get this, Intuition class.
Intuition.
Yes, it has TUI. I think that's awesome. It's a new class that they're introducing. This new ship is going to be setting sail in 2025, and they announced it is going to be called the Mein Schiff Relax.
Because that's kind of the theme that they're going with the ship. They want it to be about relaxation and health and wellness. And so they wanted a name that reflected the ship.
Yeah. And can we pause for a second and just admire this beautiful cruise ship that's on the screen? I think it is gorgeous.
You do realize that's a rendering, yes?
I do, of course.
I just want to make sure.
It actually looks like it was done in Curacao because I recognize that tree.
I kind of recognize that tree too.
So if you're not familiar with TUI brand, TUI is a cruise line that sails out of Germany primarily. Well, not out of Germany, but they primarily cater to the German cruise groups or passengers. They're planning on sailing the Mein Schiff Relax, starting off doing Western Mediterranean itineraries. She'll be doing things like Barcelona. She'll go to Gibraltar. She'll go to Morocco. I know you didn't do Morocco though.
We should add TUI to our list of
they
TUI and Viking.
They do have English as their second language on board the ships. So it would be great to experience.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I've heard really great things about TUI and Mein Schiff, their class of ships. So really cool.
How odd would that be? Which ship were you just on? 3?
Yeah, 3. So 7 is the highest number that they go, and then it starts to relax.
That's
kind of
a good one.
Right,
now, to be fair, how many times do we just say we were on the Vista versus saying the Carnival Vista?
But that's true, because the Vista could be any line.
The Vista could be any line. It could be any ship, right? Exactly. Okay, sorry, I forgot that we added a story.
We did.
This was late breaking. It was like midnight 1 that I added this because I wanted to bring this to you. So if you've watched us, you've heard me talk about this.
Yep. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Yep. You've heard me talk about these residential cruises. I've talked a bunch about it on Twitter. I've talked about a bunch of it here. There are multiple residential cruises. We got all sorts of pings. We got all sorts of texts and messages about for just $30,000 a year, you can get on the ship and you can get your health care and you can get drinks with dinner and you get laundry and all of your shore excursions and ports and blah, 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 all of this stuff.
All of that.
Like, it sounded so good.
Yeah.
Almost too good to be true.
Right.
Well, a couple weeks ago, we shared with you that there was some questions about the launch of one of these brands, Life at Sea Cruises.
Right.
That's that $30,000 a year sailing. Now about $38,000. They've raised the price slightly.
Inflation.
They still didn't have a ship when they were supposed to have their ship. And so the CEO said, we are not delayed. We expect to have the ship this week. Everything is still on as planned. We may have to do some of the retrofit while the ship is sailing.
Doesn't that sound fun?
But we are still on plan. Well, as of yesterday, just yesterday, they announced that there will be a delay in the sailing of Life at Sea cruises. They were originally supposed to depart from Istanbul on November 1st. That is not going to be happening. Less than 2 weeks to go from when you were supposed to embark on this 3-year journey. They said, nope, just kidding. We still don't have a ship. We expect to have a ship this coming week. We expect to close it. They don't have the funds. They haven't had the funds to be able to transfer to buy the ship. And so as a result, they're finalizing funds for the transfer or the purchase, but they don't have a ship still. And so they've moved the new start date to November 11th from Amsterdam now, instead of from Istanbul. So if you had, in theory, some people have talked about how they've sold their houses. They've sold retirement investments. They're waiting to get on this ship. Well, now you have to figure out how you get from Istanbul to Amsterdam. Now, thankfully, Life at Sea Cruises has said they will help passengers. They will cover the cost to get from Istanbul to Amsterdam. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can also embark in the Bahamas. Right. So on the 21st of November, you'll be able to embark when it gets to the Bahamas later on. There still will be a dry dock. There still will be some work on board. We will see. We'll continue to watch this one. I'm really curious about.
So I'm wondering if the transition for this ship is happening in Amsterdam, which is why they've asked everyone to shift to Amsterdam as an embark port versus Istanbul. Istanbul, I know, like that. They're not exactly close to each other, so I'm trying to understand if that's maybe where they're doing the work. We'll see.
I love this comment from a passenger. Declined to be named. All the passengers who are speaking out are declined to be named because
it's a lot of money. That's
they're worried. But he said, "quote I'm sad, but proud that we signed up for such an amazing adventure."
How cool is that?
It does actually it gives me some goosebumps because you know what? They tried to do. Hey, I invested in Carnival Cruise Line when it was at $45 a share. So we've all made financial decisions in our life that we might not be proud of. I don't know if you have out there. But yes, we do hope that Life at Sea Cruises goes forward for all of those passengers that have invested, truly, some of them life savings to make this happen.
Right. We'll see.
Okay.
Bring it home, Mark.
Oh, I'm bringing it home. Sorry, I added that and now it comes back to me. So tomorrow is, as you know, we are jumping on Norwegian Cruise Lines for the first time. Thank you to all of our Facebook followers for giving us that suggestion and voting on the option. Super excited to bring you content from the Encore. I don't know how their Wi-Fi is going to be. I don't know how this is it's a new line to us, right? I had the opportunity to meet with Norwegian Cruise Line leadership. I've had the chance to meet with the individual who's in charge of shipboard talent, the individual who's in charge of all of their shoreside talent, along with a variety of folks in their senior leadership team. Amazing people. I'm super excited, but they all seem to indicate that the Wi-Fi on board needed some work. And so Starlink, if you're looking, here's a great line to try. Yeah. So I will let you know how it is. Worst case scenario, we're in Alaska. We're in a U.S. state. Now,
that's true.
I'll find a Wi-Fi. I'll go to a local bar, brewery, and I'll find some Wi-Fi, and I can upload some videos from there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Next week, we are doing Sail Talk Sunday.
Saturday?
Sail Talk Saturday. What did I say?
Sunday.
I'm debarking on Sunday.
Yes.
I have a sea day next Saturday, so I will be there. I will be a special correspondent coming to you from either Alaska or I'll record my cruise news and be that special correspondent coming to you from either Alaska or on board the Norwegian Encore, the local. I'm super excited to try the local. Sorry. I'm reading comments as I'm talking.
You're good. Got it.
So I will be a special correspondent. Rocky will be maybe here. I don't know where you plan to. Are you going to be right
I'll
here?
Be here.
Okay. Well, you were at Disney a couple of weeks ago. You did say we do Sail Talk Saturday from wherever we're at in this lovely world, and so I'm excited to bring you some cruise news from either the Encore or Alaska shores, and you'll be here in Phoenix.
Yeah. Rob asked if you're doing a studio room. Do you want to talk a little bit about the room that you have booked?
Hey, great question, Rob. The studio rooms actually, because I booked a week prior. Literally, this guy was like pulling up itineraries and he's like, hey, I can get you on the 22nd and for this price, no single supplement. So I got into a guarantee room which I am terrified because I'm not a big fan of guarantee rooms because I don't want to be under the nightclub or over the theater. Like some of those rooms. With that said, they put me in a beautiful location.
In a family room.
In a family interior between 2 floors of staterooms. So I'm on deck 14 aft, but, you know, so I don't have Lido above me. I don't have the nightclub below me. I'm fingers crossed it's going to be a great room. But yeah, I would love to try one of those studio staterooms. As we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Norwegian is adding studio staterooms to every single one of their ships. They were the first to roll this out in 2011. 2011
2012?
2011,
no, 2010. Yeah.
Sorry, they were the first to roll out studio cabins. And so I love, look at them, just the right amount of space for one person. That's great. Yeah. And you've got the studio lounge. Right. What I was really impressed with, I learned this on the Facebook group. There is a solo coordinator that's working to help plan the solo brunch, help plan solo dining, to help plan solo events. How cool is that?
But is that only for studio guests, or is it anyone sailing solo?
It's anyone. So the studio guests have said, hey, we realize that the studio lounge is typically for the studio, but if you're sailing solo, come on down for us. We're meeting at this time. Yeah. And so I'm super excited to
that's awesome.
Get the chance to hang out with some other solos
on so cool.
the Encore.
Nancy said that you're going to love NCL. So
Nancy, have you been to the local? Because I'm really excited to try their Irish coffee. Yes. I've now read multiple reviews online that the Irish coffee is just amazing. I don't even know what's in Irish coffee. But...
It's amazingness. That's all you have to know. Okay. It's delicious. Eddie's also says that it's their favorite. And he also said the observation deck. So this is one of the cool things. The Bliss was designed for the Alaskan scenery, and the Bliss is a Breakaway Plus class ship, which Encore follows. Okay. So you have this whole observation deck on the very front of the ship, and it's not like, so, you know, we've done the Spirit class and we've done the Splendor to Alaska, and those observation decks are very cold because they're outdoors. Yeah. Well, on this class, it is a giant glass enclosure that you're in, and it's a lounge. So you're in the front of the ship. It's climate controlled, so you're not going to freeze yourself. And you're going to be able to enjoy amazing scenery while you're sailing. But
time out. I mean, I'm on my Norwegian booking right now, and it says first timer. Yeah. I can't imagine the lounge is open to first timers, because that lounge seems like...
that lounge is open to anyone. The observation lounge,
that seems like something they could real quickly charge for, doesn't it? Shh. Yeah. Okay. Let's not. Hey, Norwegian Cruise Line, if you're listening, it's a great free lounge or included lounge. Thank you. I'm super excited to be warm.
Yes. Still bring your earmuffs and your knitted hat and everything else.
I've got my earmuffs. Ooh, I don't have my knitted hat, but I should pack that. I've got my earmuffs, my gloves, my mittens, scarf, my winter coat.
Does anyone have any recommendations for different apps that you can download to be able to check out the Northern Lights? I'd be curious to get your input on that. Because it's supposed to be Northern Light season right now.
Wait a minute. I thought you were going to say to keep warm. No, didn't we, when we went to Alaska, didn't we have those hand warmers? Oh. Where were those? Where did we get those from? I don't even know. We had a box of them.
We did.
Oh. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the local. Ooh.
Whoa.
Wait, and the local was the one that's included.
That's the 24-hour one? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Y'all are seriously getting me. I am excited. Nervous that I'm flying in the day of, because we do not recommend that.
Never.
Again, because it was booked so late, it was really the option that I had. Yeah. I have looked at the reliability of the flight. Over the last 2 months, this Delta flight has only been delayed once. Knock on wood. And it was delayed an hour. So the rest of the time it's gotten in early. Again, knock on wood. So I am super excited. I really pretzel balls burger. What? Spanish food and dessert. I have 3 specialty dining meals.
Yes, you do.
On the Encore, and so I'm thinking about Cagney's if I can get in. Yeah. I really want to try Onda by Scarpetta. Yeah. And I'm thinking, what's the sushi one? That one looks so good.
It does look good. Well, that was part of the. It was like American.
No, the sushi was anyway.
Yeah. Super good.
And then observation lounge. Yeah. Oh,
gorgeous.
I'm gonna have to do a tour. I'm going to have to do a tour of the observation now. Oh, gosh. Okay. I guess I'm going to be...
I'm not going to be there. I want to see what it's like. I mean, come on.
And so I upgraded to free at Sea Plus, as I mentioned. I get the Wi-Fi but it's just the base Wi-Fi. It is not streaming Wi-Fi, so we won't be FaceTiming, unfortunately. So I don't know how the Wi-Fi is going to be to upload videos to YouTube. We'll see. I'll track that as well.
And it looks like you had some additional information that you wanted to talk about for the Seattle airport.
Oh, that's
from
right.
yesterday.
Okay, gosh. Again, knock on wood. I don't really want to talk about this, but did y'all see Seattle yesterday? A passenger went in through the exit. Honda is great. Okay, a passenger went in through the exit, and as a result, it shut down the entire airport. And so passengers were stranded on the tarmac. They were delayed in TSA queues. TSA literally went through, the passenger made it all the way to their gate.
Yeah.
They went in through the exit.
Was this intentional or?
Seattle officials say this happens occasionally. SeaTac officials say it happens occasionally. Someone they see an entrance and they go through it, but they made it all the way to the gate.
Where was the TSA
I don't know. Anyway, it shut down the airport, caused a bunch of delays. And so the reason I found out about that is because several of the people in the Facebook group flew in yesterday and they were like, we're just sitting on the tarmac. We're not sure what's going on. Like Rocky, when he flew in the day of sailing for the Splendor and there was the fire in the Atlanta airport. How often do airports catch on fire? And all flights were suspended and canceled from the Atlanta airport. You just never know. And so again, knock on wood tomorrow. Thank you. If you're out there, knock on some wood for us, please. That tomorrow's Delta flight goes smoothly and someone doesn't walk in the exit.
Right. Yikes. Rob, I love the emojis that you used on your comment. Those are great. It's exactly what Mark's going to be doing. Leaving the home, taking off, landing, running like the wind to the ship.
Yeah. I'm actually going, a fun fact, I'm going to take the light rail. I'm going to try something new in Seattle. I'm going to take the light rail. We saw, was it Cruisley who posted the light rail tip? So thank you to our fellow cruisers and cruise bloggers out there. Going to take the light rail. It's about a 10-minute walk, which I'm totally good with. Rocky's like, you're going to have bags. We walked from Carnival Venezia in New York City. We walked a mile in New York City because it was chaos debarking that initial voyage. The Venezia, that initial voyage, actually the first voyage from, we learned last night, right? Cruising with Keith, that first voyage out of New York was also chaos. And so we walked because we're like, we're not waiting in hours worth of lines. And so maybe not a mile, but we walked quite a bit.
That's a good distance. Yeah, absolutely.
Honda was great.
Honda's a must do. So interesting, as Mark was attempting to do the reservations when he checked in, he wasn't able to make a reservation. I ended up calling NCL customer service line and talked to someone there. And she's like, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Our systems don't allow single passengers to book reservations. The minimum requirement is 2. Seems like a miss for a cruise line that's really catering to solo passengers that they would change this. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But she did recommend that Mark go to the maitre d' or the host stand at each of the restaurants that he wishes to dine, and just walk up and say, hey, I'm a solo passenger. Do you have any time slots available over the sailing? And hopefully that will help you out.
Now, what I will say is everyone online, so you seasoned NCLers, everyone online said just book a 2-top.
Right.
Don't even worry about it. Book a 2-top when you get on board. Tell them that you've got 1 person because the minimum table size is 2. That was the other comment that we learned as we were researching. You can't book odd numbers. You can book 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? You can't book odd numbers as well. So solos and odds. So if you are sailing, with the one exception, there were mixed reviews of the 4-fee restaurants versus the a la carte ones. Like if teppanyaki, if you book 2 people at teppanyaki, find 2 people to go to teppanyaki because that is a single fee. So I will again keep you posted. I'm going to try to get into Onda, Cagney's, and then the sushi place.
Nancy was saying that she was at O'Sheehan's, which is
we talked about that last night.
So that's the local on the Encore. Eddie mentioned that when he sails in New York City, he does car service. That makes sense. That's smart.
That is absolutely smart. I would think that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, agreed.
Sorry, and I'm just pulling up all of Food Republic is what it's called.
Food Republic, yes.
I mean, and that menu, I know you probably don't have the menu on there, but it looks amazing.
It does. There's a lot of different sushi options.
The wraps,
sashimi.
It looks really good. And here's a fun fact. So Free at Sea includes a specialty dining meal. you at the sushi, typically you get to pick an appetizer, a super salad, a main, and a dessert. That's what's included with your free at sea. At Food Republic, at the sushi place, you just get to pick 4 items.
Right.
So I could pick 4 desserts if I wanted to. I'm not going to pick 4 desserts, but you just get to pick 4 items. So I could pick 2 rolls and a wrap and a dessert. So I'll keep y'all posted on what I eat. I'm going to eat good this week.
Yeah, you are. I'm jealous. I'll be eating salads at home while I'm getting ready for our Virgin sailing.
I mean, that was going to be my last thing. The problem is I'm going to be eating so well, but then we're jumping on, what's our next sailing?
Valiant Lady on Virgin Voyages. We'll be sailing over Thanksgiving week in November. So really excited about that 8-night cruise. We're going to be sailing to far off places like Puerto Plata, San Juan, Puerto Rico, St. Croix, which is a new port for me. I'm really excited about. And we're making a stop at Virgin Voyages private destination at Bimini. So
Beach Club at Bimini. I'm excited to check out our new location. A new stop, Bimini.
And a new ship.
Bimini
and cruise line.
So Virgin, we actually just put out this week. Rocky posted it. He recorded the special reveal, so it was a bit emotional, I will admit. And so it is published out on the channel. But for Christmas, this is the cruise he got me for Christmas. And so how we celebrate the holidays here at This Cruise Life is we give the gift of a cruise. And so you can actually watch that reveal on the channel right now when I open that present.
Yep.
It was special.
Yep. So we've got some videos that we're working on right now that'll be coming out in this coming week. One of them being the booking process through, or not the booking, the check-in process for Norwegian Cruise Lines. This was our first time going through that process, and so we wanted to share that experience. And then, as we had mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about Faster to the Fun. There's another video that we're working on for that. So. That's currently what we have planned. I'm sure Mark is going to get tons of content as he's getting onto the Encore.
That's the goal.
Make sure that you turn on notifications in case Mark decides to go live as he's
that would be fun.
Approaching the ship tomorrow. If you're approaching the ship tomorrow.
I have AT&T, so it just depends.
And when he's in port, because he's got a few port calls.
I have AT&T, so it just depends.
It does. It totally depends on where you are.
I'm just going to put that disclaimer. I have AT&T, so it just depends.
Eddie is wishing you safe travels
and
to have a great afternoon or rest of the morning for those of you on the West Coast.
Is it still morning? Yeah, I guess
it is. And then Pablo said, hello, guys. Hey, Pablo, thanks for joining in. I think that takes us to the end of today's broadcast. We covered a lot of ground today, or a lot of water.
Mostly Royal Caribbean. No, I'm just.
There was a lot of
Royal Caribbean. There's a lot of Royal news this past week.
There wasn't a lot of Carnival.
Hey, y'all, thank you so much, as always. Thank you for joining. Thanks for having fun with us on your Saturday morning, whether you have a coffee or a tea like I did, or you've got something stronger.
Hey, we don't judge.
We definitely don't judge.
No.
We can't judge.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, as always, for joining us for Sail Talk Saturday.
Yeah, and people are wishing you well on your sailings, Crow's Nest. Take care. Hope the weather's good down there in Tucson for you, as it is up here in Phoenix. We're waiting for those cooler temperatures. Hopefully they'll be coming soon. And Angela is wishing you a happy trails, happy trip, happy sailing tomorrow.
Hey, Angela, thank you so much for discovering the channel and your kind words this week. We really appreciate it. Hope that you are getting super excited for this celebration, the Carnival celebration.
Yes.
Which is just an epic ship. Yeah. I know that we got a blue card coming up on Carnival.
Brandy's going to be joining us on the celebration.
Brandy's joining us on the Carnival celebration. So there are so many awesome and epic sailings out there. Valiant's coming up. Carnival Jubilee, the first ever sailing for Carnival Jubilee, December 23rd. We're going to be on that. And so Icon of the Seas we're looking at. We haven't pulled the trigger yet on Icon, but
I'm sure we'll make it happen eventually.
Feeling Icon or Star of the Seas, Star of the Seas, which is the newest Icon class ship. Where does Star sail from? Sorry, did they announce it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, well, I think we said we were done about 4 times now.
We have. So if you haven't done it already, please make sure that you like this video, subscribe to our channel, turn on notification bell. Vince, thank you so much.
Vince.
Welcome in.
Hey, Vince. Good to see you.
Yeah.
And thank you for the lanyard. Oh my gosh, let's do a shout out for that lanyard purchase. Thank you again for that.
Yes, Brandy. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And we will see you out on the seas.
We'll see you tomorrow when I board Norwegian Encore. We'll give you an encore of today's performance.
Hey, there you go.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Take care, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.